Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy ML Dragon again, back with another reaction video, trying to stay consistent with the every Thursday. And I'm so glad that you guys liked my last one. Sean definitely put up some good fights, and I hope you guys will actually would actually want to send me your fights to react to as well. I think we could definitely help each other so much. Help me have some good content, and then you guys also just show people that your skills and your skill set, and actually might help both of us. So I hope you actually try that. And now, the thing that I wanted to do today was I wanted to react to UFC 292, but because it was a pay per view, I can't really react to any of the fights yet because the UFC is just going to take it down. Besides the Sugar Sean fight, but that's the one I want to talk about mostly. So, right now, for this first half of the video, I'm just going to talk about the other things that happened and put my little 2 cents into it. And then we're going to watch the fight, and I think that it's gonna be really cool. Now, for before we get into the main card, I will talk some of the prelims. The only fight that I know of about the prelims was the Chris Weidman versus Brad Tavares, and that fight was very interesting. It wasn't good for either side. It was Chris Weidman's first fight coming back since he's been injured, and the first leg kick he got basically tore his ACL or whatever he tore. He probably tore multiple ACLs. His knee was already messed up. And that was just from the first leg kick, so he was already injured. But somehow got through all 3 rounds and actually hurt Brad at some point with being only on one leg. So that was actually cool on his end and embarrassing on Brad's end because the dude literally can't stand on his one leg and you couldn't finish him. So it was a weird fight. It didn't look good for either of them, but Chris Weidman should look at this, listen to his boss, listen to his family, and he should retire. You had an amazing career. You are the person who knocked out Anderson Silva back in his good days. Like, you didn't knock him out. You didn't Jake Paul him, right? You didn't knock him out when he was old. You knocked him out when he was good, when he was up in his times. And it was a good knockout too. So retire. You had a good career. You were a champion at one point, and you beat Anderson Silva. It's time to give it up. And Brad, good luck with the future of your career. I'm rooting for you. Now going on to the main card. Okay, so the first fight of the main card, Chito Vera versus Pedro Munoz, trying not to butcher his name, was a good fight. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm trying to do all this guy based on memory. I was pretty much half asleep when I was watching the card, and it's also like a couple days after, so I'm trying to do this based on memory. But it was a good fight. I'm pretty sure it was fairly close. Just Chito definitely he won the fight. He won the fight. No one thought it was a robbery. It was actually pretty good. It didn't really showcase anything, especially where Cheeto's next fight is supposed to be against Sean O'Malley, and since now he's the champion, like, he's getting a title fight. In my opinion, I didn't think he showed enough to deserve a title fight. The only reason he's getting one is because he already has a win over Sean. And to me, it's hard to call it a win because Sean literally just, his leg just gave out. His leg died. But I guess if Cheeto was the one who caused it, then sure, yes, Cheeto won. But in this fight, it didn't really show much. Him and Pate, like I said, it was a 2-1, so it wasn't a 3-0 domination in my opinion. Even though some judges gave it to him 3-0, I think it was 2-1. I didn't see anything that was like title, but he still is very good. He's a good striker. So is Pedro. Like, they are good fighters, but Pedro lost due to an eye poke. I don't know. I think the eye poke happened way earlier than it did. I'm not saying he took the easy way out, but he definitely wasn't winning the fight, and the eye poke wasn't that bad to end the fight. So I'm not saying everything about that. And Cheeto, like I said, it was 2-1. The strike differential wasn't crazy, so it wasn't nothing crazy. It was a beautiful fight. 3 rounds, they didn't slow down. Beautiful. And everybody knows Cheeto gets better later on. So if Sean was to fight him, Sean just has to make sure that for at least the first 2, or I guess since they're champions now, it's going to be a 5-round fight, that he has to bring it for like the first 3 rounds, and then not survive for the last 2, just don't get caught with something stupid, So that's a good one, but I don't think Cheeto should get it right away. But I also don't want Sean to lose it right away to Merab or Cody Sandhagen. So I think they got to set something up. So the best thing UFC can do right now is have Sugar Sean versus Chito Vera for the next title fight. and then they should have Murad versus Cody for the #1 contender for next. So after whoever wins or loses that fight. Or you just give Aljamain an immediate rematch. I think he deserves it, but it's not really a fan favorite. And then the fight after that was a dude who was literally on 1 week notice. He fought 1 week before UFC 292. He came in. I watched that fight just enough. Again, I was like super tired, but based on memory, I personally thought the person who was on, let me get his name, the person who was 1 week out, Blackshear, I thought he won the fight. I swear I thought he won the fight. They gave it to Mario. I don't know about that decision. On Twitter, a lot of people were saying robbed. I could be wrong. I guess Mario was supposed to go against Cody Garbrandt. He was supposed to go against Garbrandt. If you had a high level fight and then they give you someone who's on 1 week notice, they're not just gonna let him lose like that, because that's like, then that means he shouldn't have been there in the first place. But this really felt like this should have been a prelim fight. This felt like this should have been a prelim fight. It was a good fight, don't get me wrong. And Blackshear did as much as he could, because that's 2 weight cuts that he did back to back. That's rough. That takes a toll. So the fact that he did what he did, and for me to think that he won the fight, I think is impressive. I think they should push him more than Mario. But that's all I'm going to say on that one. The next one, third fight of the night. Ian Gary versus Neil Magny. Ian Gary is trying to be Conor McGregor of the welterweights. He's up there. He's not bad. He's just trying too hard to be Conor McGregor. He's taking a lot of his jokes. He's taking a lot of his one-liners. But his striking is there. He is a great striker. Beautiful striking. He was supposed to go against Jeff Neal. I think that would have been a much more entertaining fight, but he finally got who he wanted. He called out Neil Magny first anyways. Neil Magny on very short notice took this fight, but Neil Magny is dangerous. Neil Magny has been in the UFC for so long, and he's been in like so many, like he's demolished people. Like he's won in a dominant way. Like he's won 3-0s, 5-0s, stuff like that. He's been in those situations. But what Ian Gary did to him was embarrassing. I don't know, maybe he must have had a leg injury already, because for his leg to get that damaged that quickly, like Chris Weidman has a valid excuse. But I don't know why his leg just could not take a single leg kick. He couldn't take a single leg kick. And then, but the one thing about that is Ian was destroying him, right? Because of the leg kick, most likely, but he was absolutely destroying him. The one thing is, though, again, he was trying to say that he wasn't trying to rush in and get submitted, so that's why he didn't finish the fight. I think that's an excuse. I think he was trying to finish the fight, he just couldn't. But that's the thing, though. You couldn't finish a dude where you injured his leg literally 5 seconds into the fight. It took you 3 rounds, and you had him hurt. You had him hurt in the last 30 seconds of the fight, and you just couldn't finish it. To me, even like, it's not just me saying it, like your boss, Dana White, didn't like that. He says you still have stuff to learn. Like, that doesn't help your image. I know getting a very, very dominant decision looks good, but doing a very dominant fight and finishing them at the end is even better. That's like icing on the cake. That's what he should have aimed for. Co-main, you cannot say anything about Zhang Weili. Zhang Weili murdered her. Even though the girl who lost, don't get me wrong, she looks like she could mess up anyone else, right? She looks like she could fight. Her striking was actually pretty good, and her submission attempt was scary. It's just Zhang Weili is a absolute monster. She's absolutely crazy. The takedown, this is like one of those fights that I actually enjoyed the ground and pound. It wasn't boring. This was actually just demolishing for 5 rounds. So bad. She was demolishing her. Now the main event. Instead of you seeing me talk about it, let me talk about it while we watch it.
But he asked his corner, and they said they thought he wanted at the end of the round, but very close.
Don't do that. Don't do that, please.
I wonder what was happening there.
Mark Goddard warning Tim Welch for some sort of verbal.
They said he was talking to Aljo. Earlier, leg attack for Aljamain.
This had me scared. I was like, please don't tell me this was going to be a 5 rounds of just wrestling.
Do the same thing against Kamaru Usman. Attack the far wrist, not allowing your opponent
But
to
Sean
get
O'Malley getting out, impressive.
Nicely done. Good jab by Sterling, but perhaps
The fact that Sean O'Malley was injured and didn't wrestle for 5 weeks. That's, you have to like. Wait, this is only the knockout. Okay, here's the thing. Here's what was the issue. Okay, we're gonna get back to this in a second. So the thing was that they're trying to say early stoppage, but that was 19 to 20 uncontested strikes to the ground. And literally 5 of those made his head bounce off the canvas. And the way he turned was his head rolled on the canvas. If he like turned around with the guard up, sure, but he literally rolled over like he was sleeping on a bed. So I understand. That's my defense on why I don't think that was an early stoppage. I think that was a valid stoppage. Even if he did turn around and he was going to go for the single leg, he was still going to get more hammer fists and he was still going to get more punches to the head. So that 20 would have turned into 30, 40 uncontested strikes. That was valid. Now, the thing about this fight, I'm glad that they didn't show the first round, but the first round, it was a feeling out process, but my God, was that boring. What was it? A total of 10 strikes for both of them, where Aljamain was all leg strikes. And I mean, Sugar had some nice ones, but it was boring on both sides. And the way Aljamain took the round was he just took a shot at the end. Like last 10 seconds of the fight, took a shot at a takedown, which edged him over to win the round. So the first round is not even worth talking about. The second round is the most important round, and it's only a minute in. His takedown defense was very nice to see. Him taking his takedown defense was beautiful because everyone said once Aljamain was going to grab a hold of him, it's over. This fight was going to be done.
They said he was talking to Aljo.
So Sean makes a mistake. Aljamain goes for it, but Sean is defending it beautifully. For a person who hasn't wrestled any high caliber people and who's going against probably the GOAT, gets out of that beautifully. And now he made Aljamain more comfortable. But also Sean, knowing that this guy's getting cocky, set that up beautifully. Let's take that back. Again, he knows that he's going to be comfortable, and that's what he wanted. I'm not saying him making that mistake is what it eventually in this fight. He wanted Aljamain to be comfortable for him to throw a shot and then go for a takedown, where he had enough space to perfectly dodge and just catch him. Just perfect. It was just perfect. As soon as he was going here, slipped it and caught him on the right. Beautiful. It was such a good setup. Because that is what he wanted. Let's see that in slow motion. Literally right here. His hand right there. Barely missed. Whoa. He knew it was coming too. You see him close his eyes. Look at this.
It looked like Aljo was still moving.
Boom.
I was kind of surprised at the stoppage.
Caught him.
That right hand was fantastic.
Beautiful shot. He wanted that. And you could see that there was like training and him in the... Literally, this was a Conor McGregor moment where Conor McGregor predicted the exact knockout. He was doing the same drill in the locker room getting ready for this fight. Back up, catch him with the right. Because it's just film. He had to study. But man, was that a beautiful punch. And I'm so happy that Sugar Sean's the champion. Even though I know he's going to lose it soon, it's okay. I'll take it. But yeah, I'm so sorry I wanted to do all of these breakdowns for all the fights. I wish I could have watched it, but even right now, I'm scared that the UFC is going to take down this video. So that's about. But yeah, I'm going to next time. I'm gonna try to record my live reactions. So instead of me doing a breakdown, I want you guys to watch with me, kind of like what the other UFC fighters do, and they watch it and they post it a couple days after. You're just gonna see my reaction and then the fight. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more of this, please let me know. If you want me to react to other organizations, if you want me to react to kickboxing, boxing, karate combat. Again, if you want me to watch your fights, I'm down to do whatever. I upload every Thursday, so please help me get this content out. But thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next week. Peace.